You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
Although I've got a video coming up right now of a white person who is bad, and it's, well, I guess it's not based on the color of his skin, but Bernie Sanders, who has, again, as I always say, in 40 years of Senate career, he has done nothing. He has signed no major piece of legislation. All this man's legacy is that he told young people that it's virtuous to be jealous of what other people want. He became a millionaire with 3 houses while basically telling you should stay on minimum wage and pretending that he was a good guy. So he's getting a lot of shit right now. I love this video. Like, I saw this over the weekend. I was like, I cannot wait to play this on the show on Monday. He's getting a lot of shit right now because he's running his Fight the Oligarchy tour with AOC, and they're taking private planes. And of course, private planes, you know, usually it could be 15 to 40 grand to fly one way and the other way back, whether they have, you know, donors that are paying for it or whatever it is. I don't begrudge someone the right to do it, except you quote unquote hate capitalism. But even more than that, you're supposed to be for the environment. You guys are all green. It was AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, with her Green New Deal that was supposed to stop the environment from burning down and killing all of us in 12 years. That was 6 years ago. But you guys have no problem flying private. So I do begrudge you when you try to make us all feel guilty for the very that you are doing. So Bernie's getting a lot of crap for this, for flying private. And listen to the smug. If you want to see, what do I always say about a progressive? There's a thin veneer of tolerance. And then if you just scratch it, if you just peel that little thin veneer off, how quickly they become elitist and intolerant. Listen to his answer when he's asked about flying private. This is extraordinary.
All right, last thing. You know, Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United, waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
Oh, so Bernie has important to do, guys. You think Bernie Sanders should wait? You think Bernie Sanders should wait in line? Everyone else that's waiting in line at United, they have nothing to do. They have nothing important. They have no important business meeting to do. They have no important, they're going to fly to see grandma one last time. That's not important. He's a politician, guys. So why should he have to? On top of the fact that the amount of CO2 he is putting into the atmosphere that Bernie Sanders has put into the atmosphere in all of the private flights he has taken is way more than I've taken 2 private flights in my life, and I don't feel guilty for either one of them, okay? But he is the one that's trying to guilt you while telling you you're destroying the environment, and how am I supposed to do it? I'm an important person, blah, blah, blah. You're a peon. He is the perfect living example of the hypocrisy and endless bullshit that is a Democrat socialist. And this is also the reason they want to censor the internet, because watch what happens here.
What we're doing now is speaking to the American people and saying, you have got to be involved in this process, because if you are not, the planet that we're going to leave to our kids and our grandchildren will be significantly less habitable.
5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United, waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
Yep, so you get it. That's why they want to censor everybody too, because there's all the old videos. Yeah, if Bernie really cared about the environment, you know what, Bernie, if you really cared about the environment, you would fight the oligarchy, maybe with, 2 less stops, so that you'd have to wait at the airport, just like the peons you pretend that you care about, but you don't really. And really, if any of the bullshit, and it is all bullshit that you purported to believe about the environment was true, you just would not be taking those flights. You simply would not. Your desire to fight the oligarchy would not supersede the fact that you're killing the world by your own estimation. Could your health issues be caused by an invisible enemy? Fatigue, bloating, brain fog? What if parasites are the real culprit? I was doing digging into parasite cleanses when I came across this video from a trusted doctor.
What are the main differences between ivermectin and fenbendazole? These are two anti-pathogens used to treat parasitic infections and other similar types of conditions. They are used quite often in the oncology world to treat cancer. They both have as anti-pathogenic abilities.
Interesting, right? Did you know that 60 million Americans apparently have parasites? That's scary. They're everywhere in our food, water, and pets. But the wellness company has a solution for you. Ivermectin plus mebendazole. They are FDA-approved parasite solutions now combined in one cleanse combo. Just fill out a brief medical intake form to get your 3-month supply. Maha is officially here, and the wellness company is making these hard-to-get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head on over to twc.health/Rubin and use code Rubin to save $90 off plus free shipping. Don't wait, cleanse your body, and take back control today.